Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of commodities, work our way through the dollar, yields, precious metals, and commodities and ETFs, at least the ones that I follow. I'm going to give you my financial opinions across the board on what I think is going on and how I am deciphering these charts. We do have one last day of a discount if you want to join finding-value.com in the corner there. That's where we do platinum question and answer sessions, midweek updates. You get to see what I'm buying, the companies that I am specifically targeting. You can see what I've purchased over the past few months and what I would be purchasing and the companies I'm looking at. I think there's a lot of opportunities right now. So there's obviously that going on. So you can use happy birthday as a discount code still for the 50% discount of the first month. All right, so let's dive in. Let's see what's going on in the markets. We've got the DXY here that we're going to start with. We are continuing to head higher in the DXY. Those yields are continuing to be strong. Is this going to be a retest move to this location where we get jammed up against resistance and roll back over? Yet to be seen. We could still maybe even see yields go higher. We'll have to see that. The way that I generally view this is you get large selling pressure and then a weaker bounce. And that's exactly what we're seeing. A lot of the times you hit this resistance from the down, from the underneath side and roll back over and head lower. That's what happens a lot of the times. It doesn't happen all the time. So that's what we're looking for. That's what we're going to be seeing. Now, we're seeing strength in the dollar, so we're going to be seeing strength in yields. You've always heard me say this. Uh, Generally speaking, stronger dollar, stronger yields. And that is holding true at this time. We're seeing yields start to accelerate to the upside. Now, we came on down. I thought we were going to break to the downside, but that is not the case. We are heading to the upside with these yields. They've been pretty resilient here over the past week or two. So they still look all right. And again, generally speaking, you see large selling pressure days and a struggle to go back higher. So are we going to peak out somewhere, roll back over with that dollar? That's what I'm looking for. That's what I am expecting. But that's not what I'm betting the bank on. But that's kind of my thoughts of what could potentially happen. As this goes up, it's going to be a drag on precious metals. If we get the rollover and the dollar falls down with it, precious metals are going to rocket. So that's why this is so important. It determines money flows in the system. So the 10-year yield, it's also being quite resilient. And again, this doesn't look too bad to go higher. So the 10-year definitely looks strong. It looks like it wants to go up. It's above support. We've got a big flag pattern here. Again, we'll see where it goes. And then the 30-year is also looking quite resilient where we could head higher like the 10-year. So the long end of the curve looks strong. The short end, it's questionable. And the dollar looks kind of blah. And there is a point where yields could go up and the dollar goes down. And that means, and gold could go higher as well. It all kind of breaks apart. The TYX TNX ratio, again, we are very low. And it looks good for this to go and uninvert. When it uninverts, that's generally a tailwind for precious metals. Almost every time we've had these uninversions from low to high, gold's gone up with it. That is the cycle. That is exactly what we're looking for, is a potential move up or an uninversion of the yield curve for that to continue. Bond prices down slightly. And again, we've been in this little, I don't know, pattern or channel or whatever we got here. And we've just been moving sideways for the most part. Looking at gold, gold's down a little bit. Again, it still looks really good to me. Why does it look good? Well, we've broken this falling wedge to the upside. That's what happened here. We got nice big buying pressure candlesticks. We still have these small little guys. It's almost as if gold is waiting for the yields to catch up, for the yields to turn positive so gold can hit the gas. That's kind of what I'm seeing in this chart here. You back out, you're sitting on top of the pattern. I still think we are going to go higher because we're sitting above all the support. We have to bust through all that support if we want to go back down lower. Silver down a little bit today. Again, we've got large buying pressure. We're above support. We've got smaller selling pressure. I think it's just waiting for the conditions to ripen for it to go up. Platinum also slightly lower today. This is a tough one to read. We've got good buying pressure back here, a little bit stronger selling pressure there, and we're kind of just hanging out here. Are we going to get one last kind of dip before we head higher? Hard to say in the short term. Would I be accumulating it? Yeah, I would. I would be accumulating in this entire area down here, and if we go lower, I would still be accumulating physical platinum myself. XAU to gold ratio, we're still seeing gold and silver miners hold up and be quite resilient. This still looks good to go higher to me. We've got the large, big bullish engulfing on the weekly, and we're only going sideways here, so it's set up for that to outperform the gold and silver mining companies. But we haven't broken out of the downtrend line yet. If we do, I will let you know, and we'll be partying because it'll be a fun move, I think, for gold and silver mining companies. The CRB index acting incredibly resilient. It's ripping it. Big old move here, broken to the upside. Obviously, oil's doing quite well, but this looks fantastic for a move higher. CRB to S&P 500 is looking fantastic. We have this nice kind of falling wedge that I've put in there. We are breaking to the upside here just recently with commodity strength over the S&P 500. This is what we're looking for, guys. We're starting to see the pieces kind of fall in line. Commodities are starting to outperform the S&P 500. We're starting to see a lot of downtrend falling wedge patterns break, just like this one here in front of us. Oil's starting to rip it. Natural gas doesn't look too bad. It all kind of adds up. And the CRB is starting to outperform the S&P 500. I think this is going to be an outperformance here of commodities. GDX, we're down a little bit today, but it's still holding in there. It still looks good from that circle there. Larger selling pressure with the small, tight move back. That's generally a move to the upside or something on the lines of that. So that's looking good. And GDXJ and SILJ both exhibit that same type of strong move and a slow kind of pullback. So I think if the market conditions, dollar goes down, those yields start to pull back a little bit, I think we're going to take off in gold and silver. And it's going to be one heck of a ride, guys. It's going to be fun. Crude oil, strong 2.35% today. We've broken out of this pattern here, guys. It's go time. You should already be locked and loaded. You should just be sitting on your hands at this point, collecting gains. Natural gas, slightly lower today. But again, this is a fantastic pattern to move higher in. We got the big green candlesticks, small little down candlesticks. That's generally what I see in a stair-stepping pattern higher. So nat gas looks very good. You can back out. You can see that we're kind of bottoming here, I think, and then we're going to work our way up. So nat gas looks really good. XOP, yeah, you know me, looking fantastic, just ripping it. A little bit of selling pressure towards the end of the day. A little bit of, we'll go to the daily candlesticks here. You can see we came back a little bit towards the end of the day. So the momentum is coming back down a little bit. But overall, it's been quite resilient here. OIH also ripping it, guys, just ripping it. Look at that. It finished quite strong too, so this could continue into the future. We're starting to break through this resistance area. What I said here is when we start to break through this, guys, we could see a big move to the upside in the oil service companies. You should already be positioned. If you're not positioned, I don't know what to tell you. Obviously, we've been talking about these companies a lot on the website. Some of them are up hundreds of percents off their bottom, depending on when you looked at them and when you got positioned. And when you were in, part of the group, 2023, 2022, early 2022, we were getting a lot of these at just rock bottom prices, guys, down here. Such good entry points. The Sprott Physical Uranium Trust, I left my arrow in there. You can kind of see it. We were bouncing higher. See the break to the upside. This is bullish engulfing. I put the arrow in last time, and there we are breaking to the upside. That is a statistical probability that was in our favor at this time. And let's see if we can get up to the 1815 and break that level. URA, the ETF URA, up a little bit. I think this looks absolutely fantastic. We've broken the pattern. That is step one. This is where I accumulate. That's all I'll say. URNM, it's in a very similar position. You can see the big bullish engulfing here. You've got basically a flag pattern that's developing right underneath the breakout, and it's ready to break to the upside. Just to let you guys know, I'm throwing you guys a bone here. This is where I would be finding my positions if I wanted to add into my positions. This is where I would get aggressive in some of the positions that look good and possess good quality charts. This is where I would be doing it. URNJ also looking good. You can also see that we're basically coming down in a squeezing formation. And yeah, I drew that roughly on a long-term scale. But yeah, it looks good. We're coming back to support in this general vicinity, and the juniors generally lag CCJ and some of those other guys. CCJ is looking pretty good. Camco. Looking at TAN holding in there. I think we're going to go higher. We've got big buying pressure, bullish engulfing, coming all the way back to the bottom here. I think we are going to rip to the upside for solar. It looks good across the board for all energy companies. COPX, the copper guys, still in the channel going sideways, but it still looks good to go higher. And we'll look at copper and the price of copper to see what that's doing. Lithium still looking good. We're still above the breakout. That is what we want. It's doing a little bit of a return move. I actually like it right where it's at. REMX getting a little bit more selling pressure. I wouldn't be that scared. Let's back out. See, so a lot of people are like, "Oh, you put the line in here and it's over." That's on a daily, guys. Put it on a monthly or weekly closing, and you can see that I'm going off the closing points. There's stronger closing points. The trend line is stronger that way. I know some people, they try to get all exactly perfect with where the trend lines are at, and it depends on your time frames. I choose longer time frames. So I go off closing points and I go off the time frame. You can obviously chart it like this if you'd like, but that doesn't really change much. What you're trying to gauge is where are the buyers and sellers? Where is the trend going to hit and roughly turn? When you look at it from a big long-term perspective, it doesn't matter how accurate or how pretty the chart looks. All you need to know is that this thing is squeezing into this general vicinity and it's going to break and turn. It's creating that turning motion. That is what's important. It's not important where I draw this particular line and how precise I am with the line, just to let you guys know that. This is turning and it's going to go higher, in my opinion, for REMX. And I'm using the longer term time frame to determine that. SPX, still looking good to go higher. This is just a little continuation pattern. Same with the NASDAQ. Continuation pattern to go higher, in my opinion. I do not see reversal candlesticks or patterns at this time yet. Emerging markets, looking quite good. And what I like to see is I like to see these big progress moves in short periods of time and then small selling pressure. And then we get another surge higher. So that's looking good. XHB, the home builders, this has a little bit of a more of a bearish stance there with that bearish engulfing. That is a reversal candlestick. And we'll see how far we pull back in the short term. MOO, which is the agricultural companies, fertilizer companies, I think they still look good. It is slowing down a little bit. You can see the candlesticks are getting smaller in terms of their opening and closing prices. That's generally an equilibrium towards the buyers and sellers, given the market conditions, short-term market conditions. So we're slowing down a little bit. You can see that there, but we'll see if we continue higher. It still looks really good. Move on up. Copper up a little bit today. We are still squeezing, and that's the squeeze that we've got going on is between these two trends. If we get a big break and a big move, guys, you better be positioned. This could be a big move. We haven't broken out yet, though. And a lot of the companies look pretty good from a diversified mining standpoint that produce copper. Iron ore still looks fantastic. This is a falling wedge that we've broken to the upside. It's just dilly-dallying sideways before it breaks again. We'll probably have another little break like we've got here. Here, I'll get all this garbage out of here. You can draw a trend line through here. We've broken that. We could do a return move. It looks good to go higher. Remember, iron ore and the price of iron ore somewhat dictates dry bulk shipping. And that's something to look at. Same with coal. Coal's pulled back quite a bit. Iron ore's pulled back quite a bit. This is a spot to be looking. Dry bulk shipping is a spot to be looking in all these different sectors. Nickel just moving sideways. Not much really to report there. It's right on support. Aluminum also moving sideways. I think aluminum is at support. This is a good location to be looking. Some of the aluminum smelting companies have already started to move on up. We're getting fat dividends in some of them, and they're starting to move higher. Perfect. Baltic Dry Index. Remember iron ore. Remember coal. Those are the two. I think this is a really good location to be looking. Why do I think that? Because if the sellers were going to come in, they would have broken it here. They didn't break it there, guys. They're giving you a good location to accumulate it. They're giving you time. And I'm going to take advantage of it. We've got Newcastle Coal. Again, we're going to bounce around here. It's going to base out. Some of the coal companies look pretty good for entry points. We talked about it during the last question and answer session. Some of them are paying 10% dividend yields, 5% dividend yields, 13, 14, 15% dividend yields, and the charts don't look too bad. And I saw that they were up today. We're probably going to try to bottom around here at some point. And this also has an impact on Baltic Dry Index. So I think this will probably try to turn around. Iron ore is probably going to turn around. Dry bulk shipping is probably going to turn around at some point over the next whatever months it's going to take. Bitcoin selling off a little bit further. It still looks okay intact, but I mean, we are getting a little bit of acceleration in the selling pressure that we're seeing today. What we want to see is we don't want to see a ton more selling pressure. We want that to bounce back higher. Let's see what it does over the next few days. Ethereum, it's just following whatever Bitcoin does. So we'll see what happens there. I don't think it's reversal candlesticks yet. Just be patient and we'll see where it goes. So that's what we've got for today, guys. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website. Don't forget, we're nearing the end of that happy birthday coupon code with a 50% discount in the beginning or for your first month. So that's what I've got for today. Yeah, we'll catch you guys next time. This is Finding Value.